This is a superpower. This is a superpower because while others rage and panic, you'll be calm. You'll have emotional control. And in this moment of high stress, or even in the mundane moments of daily life, you will have an inner sense of peace. That's what we're talking about today. We're going to look at how the Stoics trained themselves to have this superpower of being calm. And we're doing this by looking at one of the most famous passages in all of Stoic literature, the passage that Marcus Aurelius ends his meditations with. And he gives us this almost like a cheat code for how to be calm. Marcus Aurelius was the emperor of Rome. He was also a Stoic. He wrote these meditations as a personal diary, but the last section of meditations is a section that he likely knew would be read by others. It's a conclusion to the entire work. And it's incredibly powerful. He says, when you wake up in the morning, say to yourself, "Today I shall be meeting with interferers, those who are contentious, those who are severe. Today I shall deal with them all." What does it mean to deal with them? To see them off calmly and without fuss, to treat them as they deserve, to understand their place and not let them get to me. To stay at my own center, indifferent to outside events. How do you do that? Well, he tells us right away by saying to yourself, "Today I shall be meeting with interferers, those who are contentious, those who are severe." In other words, he's bracing himself for people. Certain kinds of people that are going to make life difficult. Life is difficult for everyone. But especially for Marcus Aurelius. People are constantly trying to take advantage of him, trying to get favors from him, trying to drag him into arguments, trying to provoke him. And yet he didn't want to live a life of anger and frustration and irritability. So, he trained himself to face those things calmly. He then says, to deal with them all. What does it mean to deal with them? To see them off calmly and without fuss. That's one aspect of dealing with them. The other aspect is to treat them as they deserve. He doesn't say to ignore them or to pretend they don't exist. He says to treat them according to their merit, to treat them according to how they actually are, not according to how we might want them to be. And then he says, to understand their place and not let them get to me. Now, what does that mean? It means not letting other people control your emotions, not letting other people get you riled up. It means understanding that other people are limited, that they are small, that they don't really know what they're doing, that they are driven by base desires, and that they are not worth your time, energy, or attention. Not in the sense that you should despise them, but in the sense that you can remove yourself from their drama, that you don't have to participate in their story. You can just let them be and move on. And then he says, to stay at my own center, indifferent to outside events. This is the goal of the Stoics. It's called apathy in the sense of being at peace, not in the sense of being uncaring. It's being able to look at what's happening around you and to remain centered. The Stoics had a number of tools for doing this. They had their negative visualization exercises where they imagined things going wrong in order to steel themselves for when things did go wrong. They had their dichotomy of control where they understood the difference between the things that were up to them and the things that weren't up to them. They had their mindfulness practices, their meditations, where they focused on the present moment. But I think what Marcus Aurelius is getting at here is that this is a skill that you develop over time. It's a muscle that you train over the long haul. It is through constant practice that you get to the point where you can be calm amidst the chaos. So what are you waiting for? Start your training today. While others rage and panic, you'll be calm. You'll have emotional control. And in this moment of high stress, or even in the mundane moments of daily life, you will have an inner sense of peace. That's what we're after. That's the superpower we're seeking.